Hi, my name is Jay with Kick Foosball Tables. First off, I'd like to welcome you to the Kick family. Today I'll be showing you how to properly assemble your Kick Conquest 48-inch foosball table. I hope this instructional video is helpful. With no further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and open the box and take a look at the contents. Then you want to lay down each piece out onto your floor individually. If you are assembling your foosball table on a hard surface, I do recommend you lay down a large blanket or a large piece of cardboard. That way you don't damage your table in the assembly process. Then go ahead and match each part to what's inside your instruction manual. After sorting out all the parts in the box, and once you have matched each part to what's inside your instruction manual, if you notice any damaged or any missing parts, or if there's any issue at all, please contact customer support with pictures of your shipping label, box label, the box itself, and the damaged part. Our contact information will be listed at the end of this video. The tools needed for this assembly are an Allen wrench that has already been supplied and your own Phillips head screwdriver. However, I will be using a power drill fitted with the Phillips head tip to help speed along this process. For step 1 of this assembly, we'll be sliding our playing field P3 into the groove of side panel P1 that you see here. You just want to make sure before you insert your playing field into the groove here on the side panel that for one, that the ball or entry hole is closer to the floor and that your playing field, that the graphics are face down. Just want to go ahead and slide it in here to the groove, into this groove. Alright, now go ahead and repeat this step to the other side of the side panel. After you've inserted your playing field into both of the grooves on both sides panels, we go on the next step, step 2, in inserting our nuts H7 into the back side of in panel P2. What you want to make sure is that the groove on the end of the nut that you see here is for one faced out, and that the hole on the nut that you see there lines up with the hole on the end of the end panel. Go to insert your nut. And then just kind of line that hole there. Now go ahead and repeat this step to the other side and the other side of the other end panel. Next, we'll be inserting the playing field into the groove of end panel P1. You just also want to make sure that the goalie hole here is closer to the floor. You also want to make sure that the end of the end panel is flush with the side panel. Now go ahead and repeat this step to the other side. Next, we'll be securing our end panel to both of the side panels using our H4 screws. Now again, you just simply want to make sure that the hole of the nut lines up with the hole on the side panel. That way your screw can correctly fasten into the nut. Alright, go ahead and repeat this step to the side of the end panel. After you've attached both your end panels to both the side panels and secured your playing field, we go on to the next step, step 3, in attaching our support brace, P8, using our H5 screws and our H7 nut. Now first you just want to go ahead and insert both of your nuts to both ends of your support brace. Again, you want to make sure that this groove on the nut is faced out and that the hole on the nut matches to the hole on the end of the brace. Next, you will notice that there's a hole on both sides of the side panel. You just want to go ahead and line up that hole on the brace to hole on the side panel and insert your H5 screw. And secure. After you've attached both these support braces to the bottom of your playing field, we go on the next step, step 4, in attaching our leg P4A and P4B using our H1 bolt and our H2 washer. You will notice that there are two holes on the side of your leg and one hole in the back of your leg. There are also two holes in the side panel and one hole in the back of the end panel. Just want to go ahead and line up those holes on the leg to the holes on the side and end panel and insert your H1 bolt in your H2 washer. And you just want to kind of just hand tighten it at this time. And I'll explain later the reason for that. Next, we'll be attaching our leg end panels to the back of our legs using our H1 bolt and our H2 washer. Next, we'll be inserting our H7 nut into all 4 holes of the side panel P6. Again, you simply just want to go ahead and line up the hole on the nut to the hole on the end of the side panel. Next, we'll be attaching our side panel P6 to both end panels P5 using our H5 screw. Now you simply just want to go ahead and line up the holes on the side panel to the holes on the end panel. You also want to make sure that the hole of the nut is again aligned with the hole on the side panel. Now the reason why I didn't have you fully tighten all of your screws is so that you have some wiggle room when attaching your side panel. After you've attached all 4 of your legs and secured your end panels P5 and side panels P6, we can move on to the next step and inserting our leg levelers P12 to the bottom of our legs. You simply just want to go ahead and screw down your leg levelers all the way down to the base of your leg. Now the purpose of these leg levelers is to stabilize your table during play, so that if one side is higher than the other, you just go ahead and unscrew a couple notches to even out your playing field. Alright, after you've attached all of your leg levelers to the bottom base of your legs, we move on to the next step in turning over our table. This is a 2-person job, so you'll need some assistance for this part of the assembly. You want to make sure that you don't rest the weight of the table on either of the legs. So you just want to make sure that you turn over the table in one swift full motion so none of the legs hit the ground. After you've had some assistance turning over your table, we can now move on to the next step, step 5, inserting our player rods. The most important part of assembling your kick foosball table is making sure that the rods are all in the correct position. So you want to carefully review the diagram located in the instruction manual prior to inserting your rods. What you want to make sure is that you add the correct amount of players per holes in the rod. You also want to make sure that the hole on the end of each rod is on the correct side of the table where the handles will later go. And before we insert our rods and attach each player to each rod, I'm going to show you an already assembled table and explain to you the differences between a one-man goalie versus the three-man goalie setup. One-man goalie versus three-man goalie setup. Now with this table, we have the option to have either a one-man goalie or three-man goalie setup. Most beginners and some others prefer a three-man goalie setup because there's more defense around the goal, making it harder to score and giving the user more control of the field. While others prefer a more competitive, fast-paced one-man goalie setup. It's completely up to you. To have a three-man goalie setup, you have three men on your goalie rod. You can optionally place the white field lining tape on either end of the playing field to prevent any dead spots, if any at all. Be careful when you lay the tape down. It's hard to take off without leaving any smudges. If you're looking for a one-man goalie setup, instead of having the other two outer men on the goalie rod, you'll replace them with the 4 black stop rings. Next, place the 4 green corner ramps you receive on each corner of the playing field. If you had already applied the field lining tape, you can place the ramps on top of it if you ever want to switch back, but if this is your style of play, either cut the lining tape accordingly so that it doesn't go under the ramps or don't install the lining tape at all. Finally, screw the 4 ramps in using your H8 screws and cover the holes using the 4 green plugs. When attaching your players, you want to note that there is a bumper, a washer, then you want to add the correct amount of players per holes in the rod. And add another washer, and another bumper. Then you want to complete by sliding through the second hole. We will be attaching our player using our C6 bolt and our C7 nut. You simply just want to go ahead and line up the chest of the player to the hole in the rod. Insert your C6 bolt. Turn the player around. And insert your C7 nut. And you want to hold the nut in place. And then you want to tighten your bolt. After you've inserted all of your rods and attached each player to your rod, move on to the next step, step 6, and attaching our handles P9 using our H8 screws. You simply just want to go ahead and line up the hole in the rod to the hole in the handle. Then insert your H8 bolt. And tighten. One quick note, these handles are really high quality. Most other companies use these really cheap rubber slide-on handles. Also, these rods are semi-hollow, so they are durable enough to rough play, yet light enough to let other players have full control over their rods. If you need any rod lubricant, please contact Kick and we will send you a free complimentary bottle. Next, you want to slide your rubber end caps P10 to the other end of the rod. We'll be attaching our slide scorer P11 using our H3 screws to the end of our table. You'll notice these holes are not pre-drilled, but they have been scored. Just go ahead and line up your scorer over those holes. And tighten. Next, we'll be attaching our four corners P7A and P7B to all four corners of our table. So we just want to go ahead and line up the top of the corner piece to the top of the table and pull this flap over to the inside corner and slide down. Next, we'll be securing our corner piece using our H6 screw. These holes are not pre-drilled, so you will need to apply some pressure when screwing in your screws. Congratulations! We are now officially done assembling our KIK Conquest 48-inch foosball table. You are now free to enjoy your table with your friends and family. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please visit us at www.kikfoosballtables.com or email us at support@kikfoosballtables.com.